welcome to the Creative Obsession podcast. My name is Carrie, and today is October 12th, 2017. I'm coming to you from just outside of Portland, Oregon, and thank you for being here. This is my channel where I talk about things creative, especially sewing, quilting, and knitting. A little bit of other crafts involved in that sometimes. You just never know. So thank you so much for being here. I will put all the information of where you can contact me either on the screen or in the description box down below. Any links to patterns or websites that I talk about will also be found in the description box below the YouTube video. And I want to thank you for being here. I really appreciate anybody that stops by and watches. Subscribe if you like it. And so yeah, that's it. Some of the footage that you saw in the beginning of this video, Jim and I took our niece, Ella, who you met a few episodes ago, on a hike up to Mount Hood and along the Salmon River. We have tried to go every year in October when the salmon are running up the river and spawning. And there's a trail that follows along the river for, I don't know, a couple, 2-3 miles. And you get some really good spots to watch the salmon do their salmon thing. Last year we went up and we missed the run because there was too much rain early on in the month that we couldn't go up there. And then by the time we got up there, we missed the run and the river was really full. Jim was watching the fish count at the Bonneville Dam to see how that was going. It looked like the fish were moving and heading up rivers. So we went up last weekend and we were just ahead of it. We only saw one spawning couple. And I think we were like a week early. So we missed it again. But it was a fun day. It was a gorgeous day to be up there hiking in the woods. And Ella hasn't really done hiking like that before. And so she had fun. And it was just really fun to spend the day with her. And she's just an amazing young woman. And so that was really fun. Another bunch of pictures that you probably saw is Halloween Town, which is in a neighboring town of St. Helens, and they set up downtown area as Halloween Town every October. The movie Halloween Town was filmed there in the 90s, and so every month they set it all up and have a big to-do. This year we got a metal pumpkin, which I think looks awesome. I love it. I know some people are not liking it because it's not the pumpkin that they used in the movie, but it's pretty cool. So that's always fun. There's activities every weekend, all the month of October. Some of the actors from the movie come and they do, the lighting of the pumpkin and pictures and autographs and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty festive. So that's kind of a fun thing. And I kind of walked around a little bit when I went down there to take some pictures. So that's what some of that is. So I want to talk about my little quilt that I'm making. It's not a full quilt, obviously. It's one block and a couple of pinwheels. And so what it is it's the Cinderella Pumpkins pattern that I showed you a couple episodes ago. This is a pattern by Karen Walker, who is the owner of Laugh Yourself into Stitches. I will put links to her site down below. So what I'm doing is I'm making the 6 pumpkins, but I'm going to do them in a table runner. This table runner that she shows on the back only has 4. I'm going to do all 6. And my plan is to do some facing one way and some facing the other, but I might mix it up just so it's not so symmetrical like that. I don't know. I got to get all the blocks done and kind of play around with it. But I got one block done. And, that takes a while because there's a lot of teeny tiny pieces. Like the stuff for the stem, like this is the pieces. That's 4 pieces put together. That makes this little 1 inch by 1.5 inches. So it's tiny and slow going sort of because of the fact that it's got tiny pieces. But I wanted to get one pumpkin done to just kind of go through the pattern. And so now that I see how everything's supposed to go, wrote some notes on the pattern, I'll make the other 5 blocks and I can chain piece them. Which means you can just make if you're going to do these little half square triangle units, you just do them all at the same time and they're just all connected. And instead of doing sew a little seam, cut it, add another piece, sew a little seam, you just chain piece it. I can't really explain it any better than that. A tool that was really helpful when making these little half square triangle units because they trim down to 1 inch is the Block Lock ruler. So I don't know if you've heard of it. I don't know if I've shown it before, but it is a must-have tool if you're a quilter and make any kind of half square triangles or anything that you trim down. So the idea is you make your half square triangle units, which a half square triangle is, is like that, where it's a square, but half the square is 2 triangles. And those can be a little fiddly to make just because you're dealing with a lot of bias. And so when you press them, they can oftentimes get pressed out of shape and whatever. So always nicer to make them a little bit bigger and then trim them down. And this is the ruler that does it because it's got this groove in the back. Can you see right there? This is actually etched in. And what you do is it locks your seam. You put it over your half square triangle against the seam, and then you trim, and it keeps that piece from sliding and bending out of shape, keeps things nice and square so that all your pieces go together really nice. So I've got, got some little units. This is the top of another pumpkin. So I've got some stuff together. I've just got to now put the rest of the pumpkins together. It's not going to be done by Halloween, but it'll be done for next year. And so 1st of October, I'll be able to put it on my table and it'll be done. So it's funny because when I sat down to make it and I got everything pressed and got ready to start, I had to really kind of shift my gears in my head because I haven't read a quilt pattern in a really long time. I can't even remember the last quilt pattern I read because sometimes I'll just make stuff up as I go. And so to shift my brain to go that way was a little bit challenging. I had to kind of get back in gear. So I got it going and now I'm just working on it. So that's it for so far. And so that's my little Halloween decoration right now. Okay, so I don't have any different crafts. I don't have any painting or anything like that. I haven't done any of that, although I've got canvases and I want to do more pour painting because I want to make more books like I showed in a previous episode. So this episode's liable to be a little bit shorter, but that's okay because there's no sense in just filling in space just for the sake of filling in space. I do have a finished object in my knitting, so I'm going to talk about some knitting stuff now, and I do have some shop update stuff towards the end. So I finished my 3-color cashmere cowl, and I really like it. I like the colors. I enjoyed working on it. I don't like to wear it because it is, it's too snug around. It's too snug here for me. So let me show you. It's like, that's just, I wanted something that was hanging more like this. And in the picture that Hohi's wearing it, it's like that, but it's not like that. And you know what? I don't get cold enough to wear this. If I skied or something like that, which my skiing days are over, I probably would. But I really enjoyed working on it, and I'm going to give this to my friend Lori. Lori will look gorgeous in it, so that makes me feel good to be able to gift it. These are all colors from my shop. This was Rain Cloud, Denim, and this is Driftwood. And it was a really nice, relaxing project to work on. And so I did thoroughly enjoy it. I just know that I won't wear it. But that's okay because I have somebody that will. So, yeah, finished. I did enter this. I do need to put in my finished object picture in the Hohi Fall Cowl 2017 knit along. Anyway, that's going to go in there. Finished object. Nice. And I blocked the bejeebers out of it too to try and get it to widen out. I really pulled it, and I suppose I could have pulled it more. When I was pulling it, it was feeling pretty tight. But, that's okay. That's okay. Lori will like it. So there it is. That's my only finished object that I have this week. I did pretty good. I have a hoe. Let me just get that out for you because I think it's pretty impressive if I do say so myself. Okay, what I've got is a hoe. It's one sock. I got half of a pair, so I have a half object. This is my sock that I started knitting from my sock blank. And this is the sock blank. There's one left in the shop. There's no more of this color in skeins, so I've got just one left. So this has knit up one sock like this, and I've got started on the second sock. Get my needles out of the way. There you go. So I'm just doing a 64 count on a 2.5 mil needle. I've been knitting my socks on 2.25, and when I knitted the pumpkin socks, the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo ones that I showed last time, I was doing them on 2.5, and I really liked it, and I felt like maybe if I bumped that up to a 2.5, my fit issues would be resolved. And I have to tell you, this fits me perfectly. Heel flap and gusset, vanilla sock, top down. I love it. I think this is what I'm going to be doing from now on. Although then I see these pretty sock patterns and I think, oh, I got to try that. But that's when I run into trouble. These fit. When I make them like this, they fit. So, yeah, so I'm cruising along, and so we're going to just get into some crazy colors. What I like about this is it's not so much necessarily Halloween, but it's definitely fall. So I can feel like I can wear these, you know, for a while longer than if they were just Halloween specific. And I'm really enjoying knitting them off the soft blank. I think that's fun. Whoa. So that's my half object. I think that's pretty impressive for me because, as you know, I don't knit socks very fast. But I think the fact that I was just doing them vanilla, once you get past, you know, the cast on and the ribbing, and then it's just knitting for a while. And it's been a really great project for me to just pick up when I've just got a few minutes. We're going to get, you know, go in the car, whatever. It's just that easy knit that I don't have to keep track of. I don't have to read a pattern. Don't have to know where I am, you know, until I get down to doing the heel. Do that, but that's not that hard, and it's good. I'm in a good spot. I think that's my sweet spot, at least for this pair of socks. Another project that I have is I have been working on my So Faded sweater. If you've seen, okay, hopefully I don't get this too tangled up. If you've seen me before on this channel, you know I talked about that I stopped when I got to the bottom ribbing because I wasn't sure how long to make it, and I didn't feel like I could try it on properly without doing the sleeves and the neckband. So I put that on hold, and then I picked up the sleeves, and look at this, guys. I have a sleeve all the way to the end, all the way to the ribbing. I made a sleeve. And so I am now picked up and working on the second sleeve. So I'm really feeling like the end is near, because then I just pick up and do a few rounds of ribbing around the neck. I can then try it on, see for sure how long I need to make it. I think really all I need to do is the ribbing at this point on the bottom. But I think it's going to fit nicely, hopefully. Yeah, I'm anxious for it to be done because I'm really itching to make a cardigan. I think making a cardigan would help with the whole fit issue of knowing whether or not it's going to fit exactly perfect, because you've got more room to play with, the fact that it's not closed in the front. And I thought I had my pattern all picked out of what I wanted to make. There was a couple choices actually, and then Andrea Mowry just put out a DK weight cardigan with a big shawl collar, and I think it's adorable. I don't think if I do it, I did buy the pattern. And so if I do it, I probably won't do it as a fade. I probably just do it and I think of doing it like a charcoal gray, because then I could wear it with whatever. But then it's like there's so many pretty colors, and I think it would be pretty to do it in a pretty color. So I do have a question, because it is a garter stitch sweater. Does that hold its shape better than stockinette, or is stockinette better? You know, is it going to be something that's going to end up just stretching and stretching and stretching as you wear it because it's garter? Or does that hold it together better? I don't know. I'm not starting it right now anyway. Obviously, I'm making myself finish this So Faded sweater before I even consider it. But if you have an opinion on how garter wears, let me know, because I'm super new to sweater making. Like that, So Faded is my first sweater. I want to get it done so that I can maybe wear it to Vogue Knitting Live. That's just in a couple weeks, 3 weeks, I think. And I think it would be really cool to, to be able to wear it. I just don't know if I'll be too warm to wear it. And so, because even just today, even just today, I started out with a shawl and I had to take it off because it was cooking. So I don't know if I can wear a sweater. It'd be easier if I could take it off. I don't know. We'll see. But I do want to have your opinion on the whole garter stitch type of sweater, how that is. Do I do that, or do I pick another sweater that's stockinette? The good thing about garter with a cardigan is that because you're not in the round and you're going from one end and then you go back, is, and I don't have to purl back a whole bunch of stitches, which that's appealing. And I do like that shawl collar. I don't know. We'll see. But that's going to be my next cast on. I did start a new project because it's what you do. I finished a cowl, so I have to start another one. Back in June, when we went on our trip to Yellowstone, I picked up some yarn that was dyed by Destination Yarn Company. Destination Yarn. Just Destination Yarn. And she dyed up a colorway to match the Grand Prismatic Pool. Yeah, anyway. And my friend that I was traveling with, she also bought some of the yarn, but she doesn't knit. So she said, well, if I buy the yarn, would you knit me something? Sure. So I started a cowl for her. Let me get myself, I'm all kind of tangled. So what I started is the, I feel discombobulated today. Okay. God. Ugh. I started the CoPilot cowl. Now, I've made this cowl for myself, and I really like it because it's basically an infinity scarf. It's a big, long loop, and you loop it around twice, and it's just a good size. So she wanted something like that, and I thought, okay, this is great. It's a free pattern by Dominique Trod. The problem with the pattern is that it calls for 300. It says, like, make sure you have about 400 yards just in case. And pretty consistently, people are saying they don't have enough yarn for that. So what I decided to do is I am adding, my yarn is like coming through the center here. That's not where I want it. Okay, there we go. I'm adding in the garter section. So you do a 6-row garter section and then you do a lace section. So in the garter section, I'm doing 2 rows of the main color, which is the Grand Prismatic color. And then I'm adding 2 rows of a complementary color, which just happens to be this acidy green, because it really does go really well and she likes this color. So by adding the 2 rows of it here, that's giving me some more yardage. And then this lace section is a 9 pattern repeat. You repeat the pattern 9 times. So I'm going to do 8. And you do that, there's 3 sections of that. So I think by me adding some little more color here and decreasing the amount of repeats, I should have plenty of yarn because I only have 400 yards of this. And so I got this far and I weighed what I had, and I think I'm going to have like enough to do this. And I really think that that's kind of neat how it's adding that little bit of extra bling. The thing is on what's the wrong side actually looks better because it gives it an actual stripe. So that's going to be really cool. So now I'm at the stage now where I'm doing the next garter ridge. I have to add that green color. So, super easy knit to do. It's very wearable for me. Like I would make a million of these because I do wear it. So yeah, so I'm really wanting to get this done for her birthday. Her birthday is right around Thanksgiving in November. And so, she hasn't asked me about it. She may have even forgotten about it. I don't know. But that's a good project as a kind of car knitting or non-concentrating kind of knitting because it's a really easy pattern. So I've got another project which kind of goes into shop update stuff. So let me get that out and I'll show you in just a second. Last episode, I talked about the fact that I was collaborating with a bag maker, and I think right after I uploaded my episode, that bag maker talked about it on her podcast. So I didn't know we were talking about it so soon. So I collaborated with Darlene, who makes the beautiful bags. And she has an Etsy shop that is called Bags by Awesome Granny. And her and I collaborated. She was making the bags and I dyed yarn to match the bags. So this was the bag fabric. And it's little sloths in sort of Christmas colors. He's hanging on the tree with his little red scarf, and it's so cute. And then with the red zipper, and you get a holly print on the inside. So what I came up with was this yarn to go with the bag. And we were selling them as a kit. So she sold them on her shop on Etsy. I'll link to it down below. And the kits sold in less than 24 hours, which I'm super thankful for, and I'm happy about that, but I didn't expect it. I know she was more confident about it. I just never know. I mean, I can think some things are like the most cool thing ever, and then it can just sit there. So we did these kits. They all sold out, but she's going to make some more bags and put some bags in her shop, and I've dyed up some more yarn, and so this is going to go, I have some skeins of this to go in my shop. I also dyed a red mini and green mini. So if you wanted a contrasting heel toe scenario, you could choose, the red or the green. So I'm going to list these, and then these will be listed as a separate listing because not everybody wants to do the contrasting deal. So I started my sock because I wanted to see how it was going to knit up. So here it is caked up. And here it is knitting up. I really like it. I think it turned out really nice. It's not super, it's Christmassy. I was going to say it's not super Christmassy, but it's Christmassy. So what I think I'm going to do, I want to do like the contrasting heel and toe and do like a red heel and a green toe on one sock and a green heel and a red toe on another sock. But I'm not a big fan of the contrasting heels when I do a heel flap and gusset. I think it looks better when you're doing like an afterthought heel or like a German short row heel or something like that, where you actually are making that specific kind of wedge of a heel. I think it looks better in that. So what I may do, just because these are just Christmas socks, is I may do that kind of afterthought heel that Susan B. Anderson has in her, what is it, smooth operator socks. And I did it before on a pair of socks, and I was like, yeah, I don't think that they fit great, but I don't know that I did it 100% right because I think one sock heel is smaller than the other. So I thought I might try that again. So, knit to where I need to put a heel and mark that, and then come back and pick up those stitches and do the afterthought heel, just to give it another shot. I am knitting this on 2.5, I believe. I don't know, these Hayas. Oh my goodness, this writing is so tiny. Anyway, I'll look it up later and I'll put that on the screen because I can't remember. I think these are 2.5. The fabric feels like 2.5. So that gives me a little bit more room, which may help with the afterthought heel. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, going to alternate heels and toes. So these are going to go in the shop tomorrow. So you can buy the yarn by itself, or you can add a mini if you want. So yeah, so thank you to anybody that did get in and purchase the kits. That was just really cool. Because Darlene had them in her shop, and so she was texting me like, okay, we sold so many, and oh, there's only 2 left or whatever, and I was really shocked. But adorable bag, and so check her shop to see when she gets these in the back listed in there, because they're really cute. It's a really cute Christmassy bag. So what I have left now is just shop update stuff. So if you're not interested in the rest of it, I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you next time. I've got one more podcast episode to record before I go to the Columbia Gorge Fiber Festival, which I've never been. It's up in the Columbia Gorge in the Dalles, and then the following weekend we go to Vogue Knitting Live. So I don't know. I probably won't record before I go to Vogue Knitting Live, because I'll want to share what Vogue Knitting Live was like. So if you're going, I just want to put this out there. If you are going to Vogue Knitting Live, please come up and introduce yourself, because I would love to meet any of you that are watching. I don't know what you look like, so I wouldn't know you from Adam, but you know who I am. So please come up to me. I did get some little pin buttons to give away to anybody that comes and does that, anybody that we meet that wants to put them on their bag or whatever. So please come up and say hi. So I'm going to go into some little bit of a shop update. So if you're not interested, thank you for watching. See you later. For those of you that want to see what's up, here we go. So I got some sock blanks. There. Got some sock blanks dyed up. So this one is on a gray background with just lots of deep colors, deep jewel tone kind of colors. This one is a real unique color. It's the only way I can say it's kind of a reddish orange with some dark spots. I wouldn't say this is necessarily a holiday, but it could go either Halloween or Christmas, or just a fun pair of bright reddish colored socks. This one is very peacocky. That's kind of a weird saying. So you got greens, purples, blues. And then yarn wise, hang on, I just dropped something. Yarn wise, I'm adding Visions of Sugar Plums. This was last year's holiday kind of color. And this color, it's grays, purples, kind of a wine color. That's what's in this shawl that Leslie knit for me and gave me for my birthday. On my birthday in June. That's what that is. She knit it with that, and then this was granite. So that's going to be back in the shop. And then fairy wings, which I haven't dyed up in quite a while. I thought it was time, with like turquoise and teal. I don't know why the battery went dead. I put a new battery in when I started. It couldn't make it, just 2 more minutes. So anyway, I was talking about fairy wings, turquoise, teal, and some violet color. There's going to be some one of the kinds that I'm putting in there. I was kind of playing with some colors, a couple that I'm going to probably duplicate, and a couple that are like, they're lovely colors. I just don't, they're too similar maybe to something else or whatever. So, check in my one of a kind, part of my Etsy shop, because I usually offer those for a discount. So that is all I have for you today, and I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging out, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, make stuff. Just make stuff, and get outside if you can. Bye.